Hello.
Hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas.
All right, let's get started. Are we ready, Kelly?
Yep, we're ready.
All right, we ask that everyone please mute your lines until it's time to speak. Madam Clerk, could you please read the roll?
Mr. Bozen?
Here.
Mr. Amos?
Here.
Mr. Morrissey?
Here.
Mrs. Klein?
Here.
Mr. Foyce?
Here.
Mr. Greider?
Here.
And Mrs. Jewin?
Here.
All right, if you would please join me in a moment of silence right now. All right, thank you. The pledge this evening will be led by at-large Councilwoman Sharon Juwan, so please join us in the pledge.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
nation, under God, indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Mayor,
Ma'am.
I move to approve the agenda as amended, and the amendments are to remove 1A1 bills payment. That will not be on the agenda this evening. To remove 1A3 because that requires a public hearing before action by the council. And B1A, we'd like to amend that amount. It's a travel request, and amend the dollar amount to $3,150. And 1B3, appointments of Michael Young to the Telecommunications Board. This is a new appointment. So with those amendments, I'd like to move that amended agenda and the minutes of the December 2020 regular as proposed.
Second.
Second.
All right.
Mr. Mayor.
Hey, with the second, Mr. Morrissey.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that reference to the amendment to 1B, 1A, that as it's worded, it is incorrect, not only of the dollar amounts, but the amount, 2 police lieutenants, 5 police sergeants is incorrect because the travel request itself refers to 9 individual sworn police officers, not 7. So that needs to be corrected as well in that.
All right. Mrs. Jewin, do you take that amendment?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yeah, and that amendment wasn't made at the finance committee too, just to note that.
Right. So are
Can we
we
make this amendment to be retroactive to the finance committee?
That's a good question.
You will check and let us know, right?
Yeah, I guess I would keep the amendment the same, and then if we need, as what was approved by the finance committee, since that was not brought up during finance committee, and then if an additional change needs to be made to the travel request, we can get that submitted to the finance committee for meeting on the 4th.
Kelly, I believe that we need to change it now because this is a follow-up to the finance committee. It's just the full council's approving it. And I believe that the full council approves the correct amount, then that would be retroactive to what was overlooked in the finance committee.
I'm just questioning why it wasn't brought up during the finance committee, I guess more or less.
So does the council vote right now supersede what happens on the finance committee?
I believe it does, Mr. Mayor.
Michelle, do you know about this? Are you on mute? Let me click on this. Let me see. On the council communication, it has 2 police lieutenants and 5 police sergeants. Is that not what I'm seeing? And then the amount on here, well, that's supervisor liability. Let's see. Course to course covers. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So can we go ahead and
Approve it as is, because
No.
this form, it was the same form that was approved at the finance committee. Nothing on the form has actually changed. And the dollar amount has been corrected to reflect the right amount. So I guess outside of, the difference in the number of individuals attending, if the dollar amount is correct, I would just approve it as is.
well, we can, so let's
Again,
go ahead. Michelle just sent me a message, so we can override what was there. And then when I go into the council communication, there are nine folks. So I say we go ahead and correct it now.
Okay.
Mrs. Jewin, if you want to take that friendly amendment from Mr. Morrissey along with the amount, I would say let's do it at this time.
I agree.
All right. Who made the second?
Right.
All right. So we got a second. We good to go? Council, any other questions? All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you. It is now time. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. It is now time for oral presentations, your opportunity to address the city council on non-agenda related items. And I see we have a couple speakers this evening. Let me get those names. And our first speaker that's registered is Ms. Shakita Lawrence. So Ms. Lawrence, if you would state your name and address for the record. And then you get 5 minutes to tell us your thoughts. So Ms. Lawrence. Are you on, Ms. Lawrence? All right, our next speaker is Ms. Brittany Martin. Ms. Martin, state your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes.
How you doing, everyone? Again, my name is Brittany Martin. My address is 13 Schuler, Sumter, South Carolina, 29150. And I'm here to raise the concern about Lysandra Johnson. She was charged with first-degree murder before a full investigation was even done on her in November sometime. Now, 3 women, well, let me start off with who she is. Lysandra Johnson has never been in any trouble. She has no criminal record at all. She is a business owner. She has her master's degree. She has her bachelor's degree. She's also legally registered to own and carry her gun. Okay, so she had everything set in motion, had everything in order. 3 women in her car. All of this is on video. Her attorney, Nicole Watts, we went and sat down and we watched the video with her. In the video, you see everything. They sat there for 20 minutes. Her boyfriend get out the car. He drove her there. Get out as soon as he get out the car and go in the house. The other people pull up on the side of her, the 3 women, corner her in and just getting to hurting her, attacking her. So all of this is on camera, Mayor Hart. All of this is on camera. And she was charged with first-degree murder. She sent out one shot. So we've been doing all that we can as a community, as her loved ones, to try to fight for her freedom. I know the city council is only limited to so much. Well, the reason that I'm reaching out to you guys is because I'm pretty sure you guys do have a little authority in your community, a little pull. Even though you guys can't touch this exact situation, I'm pretty sure you can talk to someone who can. For example, we plan on going to see the Board of Supervisors tomorrow. Now, tomorrow they got her on $1 million bond right now. Her court date for a bond, another bond. So, like I said, we got this tape. We have all of this evidence. You know, if you guys can help us out, talk to someone, let the judge see that, hey, this is truly self-defense. It was just an incident there in your city, the same county, same police, that happened on the 25th on Christmas, where a family member shot the other family member, and they won't even mention his name in the paper. His name is not even mentioned, has not been charged, and I'm not asking for him to be charged. I'm just using that in comparison to this case. When you look at when you read the newspaper or news break, whatever, it says that is an ongoing investigation, which is proper procedure. So what I'm saying is, why couldn't Lysandra Johnson's case been followed properly as well? That procedure. You know, we reached out to Chief Fitzgerald or whatever. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but we did talk to the guy who is over the detectives there. So as we were telling him this story and we even went and talked to some witnesses that lived on the block. They lived there, seen and heard everything. Police talked to them that night, but did not take their statements. They went and took the statements of the other two women that hurt her. So, I mean, Black Hawk County got a long way to go. I know for a fact how Black Hawk County get down because I've been under scrutiny with Black Hawk County myself. So I know. My situation alone could have been fixed if the police had done their job, instead of coming antagonizing me and my family. So this Black Lives Matter movement is for a reason. It is important because if this had been a white woman, she wouldn't be sitting in jail for first degree murder. They would have told her, you go have a good night, ma'am. Try not to lose any sleep. And it shouldn't be any different with us Black citizens that pay taxes as well. So that's all I have to say. I would hope and appreciate if you guys can help fix this problem. These are kids hurting. You should have seen these kids for Christmas. You should have seen them. So please, whatever y'all can do, please help. I mean, we elected you guys to be the leaders of this community for a reason. To stand for things like this. And my camera then went out, so I'm not sure if everyone is still hearing me right now or not.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I mean, this is just too much, y'all. This is just too much, and I will I really hope and pray that you guys can really look into this situation. This is not the average Joe case. It's not.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, that's really all I have to say right now.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Martin.
At this point.
We also have Mrs. Candace Conklin. Are you online, ma'am? Miss Shawana Lawrence, are you here, ma'am? Latondra Young, are you here, ma'am? Pinky Jones, Etra Brown, Jemiah Griffin, Rochelle Davidson, Diamond Campbell, Eric Kennedy, are you on?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yes, sir. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes, sir.
Yes, sir. Again, to the council, how you guys doing this evening? Hope you had a wonderful holiday. My name is Eric Kennedy. My address is 5445 Catch-All Road here in Dazzle, South Carolina, 29040. I am here in support of what Ms. Martin said. Me, Eric Kennedy, I am an active CWP carrier of Waterloo, Iowa. In the class that I took to become a concealed weapons permit owner, the trainer, which is Aaron, I think it was Aaron Scott, I believe.
Aaron Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly, something Kelly. But you know, he told us, you know, in this training that you, within our constitutional right, we have the right to bear arms, as the Second Amendment states, that at any time, if there's brutal force of you being attacked, you have the right to use your weapon, not to harm or not to hurt. Now, as Ms. Martin stated, she shot off a shot. She wasn't trying to harm. She wasn't trying to hurt. She was just trying to get her assailants off of her. And, you know, and just as far as I'm reading into the case and reading into everything that's going on, I truly believe that's going against her of using her CWP or obtaining it. I mean, if you have it, and you know, hate to say it, but in certain circumstances when you have to use it and you still get charged with murder, I just don't understand that. You know, that just, you know, as a like I said, as a carrier, that baffles me because you know, we're protected under our constitutional right. We're protected under our on the county, you know, with the laws that they have. You know, this lady was being attacked. She feared for her life. So she used what she obtained, which was her CWP. She used her license, and that's what it's for. As far as I'm concerned, that's what it's for. Because I know as the people on the council that sits on this council seat, you're not going to sit there and let nobody, no vigilante or assailants hinder or harm you guys. You know, so you know, as a law-abiding citizen and an avid taxpayer, you know, I just don't see any righteous in that. You know.
Exactly.
I just don't I mean, this type of case would make someone not even want to obtain this. It'd be like, okay, well, I mean, I don't need a license if they still gonna charge me for murder. Or if I'm still gonna get a horrendous charge, if I'm defending myself, why would, you know what I'm saying? Why would I go get a license? But she did the right thing. She did the right thing. You know, you know, she didn't, she wasn't aggressive. She wasn't the aggressor. She was the victim. This lady is a business owner. She has so much to lose that she's losing right now. You know, over doing the right thing. I'm not trying to fuss or, you know, or, you know, be be obliterate or, you know, I'm just trying to get a better understanding of the laws. If it's there if as a CWP owner, if the gun laws are there to protect me, then why is it being used against me? That's a double, that's confusing. You know what I mean? Like I said, like piggyback off Ms. Martin, yes, someone needs to look into this. I mean, look into your gun laws. They change every year. Every state changes their gun laws every year. But one thing that never changes, if you are feeling under attack, if you are under attack and your assailants will not, and you cannot defend yourself, yes, I will use my gun to get you up off me.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
Thank you, sir.
And I think we have someone by the name of Antonio as well listed to speak. Is Mr. Antonio on the line as well? All right. Well, thank you all for reaching out to the City Council and making sure that your voices are heard on behalf of LaShondra. Thank you so much.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
May I say something?
All right. For non-registered speakers, you get 3 minutes, ma'am. So please
That's
state your
fine.
name
3
and
minutes is
address
fine.
for the record. Thank you.
For the record, my name is Tawana Murphy. I live in Memphis, Tennessee, 3321 Burgess Drive, Memphis, Tennessee. I am a radio and TV personality. I am also a member of the NAACP. And I would like to speak on behalf of LaShondra Johnson. I am also her auntie. And I did a story on LaShondra Johnson about 2 weeks ago on her. And not coming from the auntie perspective, I am actually coming from a TV personality perspective who has over 128 million viewers daily. After I researched the story, it took me 3 weeks to research her story because I have to put feelings out the way and come as a reporter. After I spoke with a few people and talked to LaShondra Johnson as well, I just think that we have to look at different angles of LaShondra's story and just not look at her as a criminal. We need to look at her as the mother of 4. We need to look at her as a business owner who has a bachelor's and a master's degree. We have to look at her as a homeowner, where she's working on her home ownership, because that was the next thing that she had going. Excuse my son, he's in here. Home ownership. Not only that, she's a good mother to her children. And as anybody, if you are feeling afraid, if you are being attacked, your vision is to protect yourself and protect your children. I'm going to protect my children by any means necessary if I feel under attack. And I think that LaShondra was just in thinking mode just to get them off of her. If you got 3-4 people attacking you, then your next response is to get them off of you. Not to say, I feel sorry for the young lady that lost her life, but I also have a niece that's about to lose hers. I have 4 children, 4 nieces and nephews that missed a mother. I'm a mother myself. And when I leave my kids with my mother at the end of the day, just to hear them run to the door and say, my mama coming. I understand. They run to the door every day and say, my mama coming, but her mama not coming. Same as Jada's. Her mama, they mama coming, but they mama not coming because bad decisions on their end. LaShondra was just thinking about herself and how she gonna get home to her kids. And mind you, she just got over COVID-19. So she wasn't feeling well, she was weak. And she just wanted to get home to her family. So I don't know how you do things in Waterloo, Iowa, because I have family that live there, but I live in Memphis. Whatever you can do to help LaShondra come home to her kids, that's all we asking. The Stand Your Ground law still stands there in Iowa, just like it stands here in Memphis, Tennessee. So I'm asking you if you can have it in your heart just to find somebody that can help LaShondra come home to her kids. Christmas is gone, so now we have New Year's left, and they want to spend New Year's with their mama. She lost her house already. She's gonna lose her car. She's losing everything for protecting herself. What's the use of getting a gun license and you can't protect yourself? I have a gun license, and I will use it by any means necessary if I have to protect myself to get home to my kids. Nobody's gonna take care of your kids like you. And I'm asking you, if you can, put it in your heart to find somebody to send her home. I would appreciate that. Thank you so much for allowing me this 3 minutes.
All right, thank you, Ms. Murphy. Next, we have Mrs. Stephanie Romero. Please state your name and address for the record, and you had 3 minutes, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, hi. My name is Stephanie Romero, and my address is 1130 Grant Avenue, Waterloo, Iowa. Well, Losandra was my babysitter for almost 3 years. I've been affected too as well. We loved her. She's not a mean person. She's all the opposite. She will take care of my kids. I work second shift. I've been affected right now because her being in jail. My kids miss her every day. They ask, "Hey, Mom, when are we going to go back to the daycare?" Lysandra, it's so different. Whenever I was looking for a babysitter, I struggle a lot to find someone that would take care of my kids. The moment that I saw her, she invited me to her house. She was like, "Hey, come check out the place. If you like it, the kids are welcome." And I remember her telling me something about this other kid in the daycare calling my kids were Hispanic, so calling my kids Mexicans. And she was like, "Hey, I talked to the other kid. She couldn't allow anybody else calling my kids Mexicans or different names." So for that, I do respect her. I do respect her because she was so nice. She will always take my kids to play dates, to like taking care of my kids really good. So for her to be there for something that she just defended herself, it hurts. It hurts seeing her kids being affected by this. And even my kids been with her for 3 years. My kids miss her, and right now I struggle. I'm actually on schedule exception because of that. I don't have a babysitter right now. So if you could please help her out, or anything that you could do for her, I bet you wouldn't regret it. She's not what the news said she is, and that's all I wanted to say. She's nice. She's something that different. She's a different. It's just we love her.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Romero. And I think we have Mrs. Marquia Sally would like to make some comments next. Are you on, Ms. Sally? All right, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to make some comments that didn't with regards to this situation or any other situation that's non-agenda related? All right, well, I just want to say really quickly, a tough situation all the way around, situation where, as Ms. Martin and others have mentioned, you're dealing with kids and you're dealing with lives. And this is a tough situation for the community. It's a tough situation for families. And Mrs. Martin, I did do what I said I would do, and I did reach out to the county attorney to follow up and have conversations. So our prayers with both the families right now. But Council, do you have any things that you want to talk about before we close oral presentations?
Mr. Mayor?
Mrs. Klein.
Just have a question about when we're going to be allowed to go back to the chambers.
I don't know offhand right now. We have a matrix that we've adopted, which talks about the number of cases within the city. We didn't necessarily have a vaccine when we did the matrix, but after the first of the year, we'll take a look at that. We still do have employees that have suffered and is suffering with COVID right now, and it's the end of the season. So at the beginning of the year, Mrs. Klein will reevaluate.
some of the people in my ward who don't have internet and fancy phones just feel like they're being, missing something. And I feel it for them too. And I know the rest of you probably already have wonderful little spots in your house you can go to, but my house just is so tiny. It's just not set up for Zoom. So I too will be looking forward to getting back. And hopefully we can do that soon.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Klein. All right, Mrs. Jewin.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, both Councilman Dave Boson and I were appointed to serve on the Waterloo Police Department Rebranding Committee as non-voting ex officio members. And our role was primarily to update the city council on the activities of the council. So very briefly, let me just share that the last meeting of the committee was on December 17th. And at that time, they decided how they were going to address the proposed emblems and insignias that we had an RFP or that we had a call for input. And we to date, and I don't have the exact number, but it's over 100 submissions of different designs that the public has submitted to the committee for consideration. What the committee decided at the last meeting was to take all of the submissions and vote just yes or no on them. And so that's the process they're going through right now. Everyone is just voting yes or no on each submission. After that, with the submissions that received a yes vote or that make it to the next level, then the committee will vote on all of those based on specific criteria. The criteria includes color contrast, because this was a safety issue that Major Leibel brought to our attention. The embroidery, the vinyl application, the size, all of those, if they would be appropriate for a badge. The visibility of the badge, legibility, professionalism, uniqueness, conformity to shape, and personal preference. So after the committee goes through and rank and votes yes or no on all the submissions, then the next step will be to actually score the badges based on the submission or the criteria I just reviewed. So I just give everybody that update and would welcome any questions if there are any.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Morrissey.
Yeah, a question I have is if all 12 voting members are going to be looking at 100 different designs, and then you're going to have those 12 members vote yes or no on them. So if one gets one yes vote and 11 no votes, does that yes vote, or are you saying that to move forward, the yeses have to be at least 7?
It would be the majority, whichever submissions get the most yes votes would be what would be considered. And I don't know what, if they've decided on a cutoff vote, if it's just going to be any submission that receives more than 7 yeses would be considered at the next. There are some other considerations. For example, I talked to Mr. Hall today. One of the submissions, the wording was Experience Waterloo. That's trademarked. And so that would be automatically eliminated, regardless of the number of votes it gets. So there might be some other considerations, but at this point, it is my belief that they are going to look at every badge, every design that has 7 or more yeses. Any other question? Thank you.
Ms. Jewin, I think we're ready to move on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. Make a motion to close oral presentation, receive comments, and place on file.
Second.
A motion is made with second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oral comments closed.
Thank you. Motion to approve the consent agenda with the following changes or as amended. And I think that's it. Yeah, just as amended.
All right.
Second.
A motion's been made with the second. Council. Madam Clerk.
Boson,
Yes.
Mr. Amos,
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey,
Yes.
Mrs. Klein,
Yes,
Mr. Foyce,
Yes.
Mr. Greider,
Yes.
and Mrs. Jewin.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you to all the appointments to the various boards and committees. Could someone take number 2 and 3?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Morrissey.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the following resolutions. First is the resolution authorizing an exception to the City of Waterloo's purchasing procedures policy to approve the purchase of a mixed liquor recycle pump from Electric Pump of Des Moines, Iowa, in the amount of $127,833.27. And next, and finally, is a resolution approving a 5-year agreement with Air Methods Corporation of Greenwood Village, Colorado, for a ground lease of 8,060 square feet of raw land for operation of an air ambulance business, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
All right, that motion has been made with a few seconds. Questions, anyone, about these 2 items? Madam Clerk?
Oh, Mr. Mayor, I had a question. I thought you were just opening it up to the public.
Yes, sir. I'll open up to anyone, especially you, Mr. Boland.
Well, thank you. I had a question just for Mr. Kasperi on the rental agreement with the for the air ambulance and how we came up with that dollar amount.
Well, simply due to the fact that, and that's a great question, Mr. Boson, and thank you for asking. This was a ground lease at a per square foot lease rate that we also provided to the 2 hangar, I'll say constructors, the Benstro hangar with A-line and POS, and then the current hangar that's being constructed by Osprey Aviation. So we cannot discriminate when we do lease agreements in setting forth the ground lease rate. And so we started with, I believe it's 12.5 cents per square foot. And we're still, much like the other 2, we're responsible for performing turf management, cutting the grass in the summer, and snow and ice control services during the winter season. So the area manager and I came up with an agreeable set rate per month over a course of a 5-year term. This is in contrast to what has been usually in the airline or airport industry, agreements that have escalators based on the Consumer Price Index or CPI. They wanted to go to a fixed annual escalator, and so we figured and have come to an agreement on initial for 2021, $200 per month, and over the course of the 5th year, it would be $300 per month. And each successive 5-year term, which there are 3, would not exceed the $300 per month lease rent rate. So we think it's a good agreement for all parties concerned, and would appreciate the support of you and the balance of your council members.
So the other ones that you said you're comparable to with the hangar per square foot ground leases, do they go up each year, or are they a set rate for X amount of years?
That's a great question. For the other hangars, of course, those are 40-year agreements with 2 5-year extensions on each. They are reviewed and increased by the CPI every 5th year or every 5-year term.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, all right. Any other questions, anyone? Madam Clerk?
Mr. Amos,
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey,
Yes.
Mrs. Klein,
Yes.
Mr. Foyce,
Yes.
Mr. Greider,
Yes.
Mrs. Jewin,
Yes.
and Mr. Bozen.
Yes.
Thank you. Council, really quickly before you close out, I want to thank all of you. We are that much closer to ending another year. So to the city council, to city staff, to the city of Waterloo, blessings going out of this year and blessings starting the new year. And thank you so much, council, for all you do.
Thanks to you, Mr. Mayor, and hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and wishes for a Happy New Year.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Happy New Year, everyone. Aye.
Thank you.
We're adjourned. Thank you.